Yo, welcome to another episode of the Bjj Goons podcast. I'm one half of the team here, Tim, the Mushmaster Spriggs, and with me, as always, every week is.
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's no new Nico Ball. Glad to be back. What's good with you, Tim?
What's good with me? I can't really call it. I mean, life's the same. Still hustling, still living the dream. Same old, same old. What's new with you?
Not much, not much. I just got up to the studio for the first time since my packages got here. I have a ton of boxes from Virus International. Um, During March Women's Month, Women's History Month, they did a BOGO, so buy one, give one. So we got 938 pairs of, or not even pairs of, they're not all spats. It's all women's pants. It's like women's no-gi apparel. No-gi apparel. So they got like shorts, they got some tank tops, and they have some longer pants, which is really dope. So I gotta figure out how to get all that to Brazil.
That's what's up, Nico. That's what's up. And I gotta say, the setup is really great. With the studio, we're always adding new things. I mean, for some reason, I can't hear myself in these headphones. So hopefully that's okay. But yeah, I think the podcast is doing well. We got a lot of good feedback on episode 100. And I gotta say, once again, everybody, thanks for all the support. I mean, we couldn't have made it this far without you guys. 100 episodes, it's just so insane. Just to think it's all started from some shitty microphone I bought from Best Buy and two long back chairs in my basement to now we have a Patreon. Make sure you guys, if you want to see exclusive content, go to patreon.com/bjjgoons. And, I go to these tournaments every once in a while and people are like, yo, we love the podcast. We always listen. Like people you would have never thought listen to the pod. So I think it's all Gucci. I'm really excited for things to come.
Yeah, make sure you guys take some time to go leave reviews, not just comments. Please like and subscribe to YouTube, wherever you listen to the podcast, but make sure you leave reviews on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever it is that you listen to. It really helps it out.
Yeah, for sure. So, Nico. Nothing. I mean, you said you had some news about high rollers. I've never been to a high rollers. I always wanted to go.
Did I say I have news? I have gossip. I have gossip about
Oh,
high rollers.
okay.
I think so. Like what I heard, this, and I was at work yesterday, so I heard that they were gonna have a tournament that's between cops and potheads. I guess. Did you actually get to look it up? Because to me, that was just gonna be. I don't know. That just seemed very interesting, very political, very polarizing in a time like this. And like, how are you gonna have all of these cops competing in a place where you're just openly smoking? Other than I guess it's illegal or it's legal in some states.
The crazy part to me is that some states it's legal or provinces it's legal, but the police are still not allowed to smoke weed. So by you being a cop that decides to do this tournament, you're kind of putting your job on the line just by participating. Because if you catch a contact and you get randomly drug tests, like it's not going to be a good look for you. Which, in a greater scheme of things, is pretty dumb if you think about it. Why is it that something that comes out of the ground is so illegal and considered so dangerous, yet it's legal in other places? Like the idea is that you can get locked up for weed in 2021. And it's pretty ballsy of these cops to even sign up for it. The jiu-jitsu world will be torn asunder. It's going to be split in two. It's going to be a battle between the bootlickers that were rooting for the cops and the jits bros that are going to be rooting for the weed heads, for being honest.
Exactly. It's going to be polarizing, which is, I mean, I think it's interesting, but just because of that, like that divide that you're creating, I don't think it's the best idea. But I pulled it up. They posted on Instagram. It said they want to celebrate the end of the cannabis prohibition while promoting awareness for jujitsu as a non-lethal alternative. So they're partnering with Adopt a Cop BJ Day to bring you this event, which will feature active, sober police and matches against some high rollers' usual competitors. Sober versus stoned. So
See how they See how they're trying to save these people's jobs by saying they're going to be sober, which I don't believe. There's no, unless you are a straight edge, super sober person, you're going to be surrounded by all that weed and you're not going to get high, even if you're a cop. Come on now. And what is this adopt a cop shit? Do you know what that is?
I'm on the Instagram page right now, so it is VA DMV. That's us right now in the Chesapeake area, a donation-based registered 501c3 nonprofit that provides police officers with free Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu memberships until the rank of a blue belt, and then pay for your own shit after that. And that's from Chesapeake, Virginia. So again, an interesting topic, because there's a lot of people that are for it, a lot of people are against it, a lot of people that just don't support, giving free stuff to cops.
Why do cops need free shit? They have a nice government fucking job. Number one, okay? You're telling me it's so hard out here for police, even though they get so much funding, as you could see from this past summer, where they had a bunch of tanks and military equipment. I mean, these SWAT teams have better equipment than most standing armies, but these police officers can't afford to pay. How much do you think the typical person pays for training a month in jiu-jitsu? Like typical gym, what you say, 115?
115. I was gonna go 150. But,
150, okay,
yeah,
150.
It depends on how many times you want to train. Like a lot of times it's like $100 for maybe just 2 days a week. I know I train like 6 days a week, so, or when I was.
I just think it's absurd to me that you're gonna give these people free training. You could give this free training to somebody that needs it, like a impoverished child, young people, like say for instance a Project Grapple program, but you're gonna donate the money to people that have a job. I just don't. I've been asked this before, right? I was on not Verbal Tap, Jamie Kilstein's podcast for jiu-jitsu. I forgot the name of it. It escapes me. Rear Naked Radio. Yes, and they asked me what I thought about it. I said it there and I'll say it again, and I'll probably be a little bit more profane. Sorry for all the young people that are listening. But here's my first thought. Number one, when you guys advertise for Adopt a Cop, I just look at it as a shallow publicity stunt to make you look good, okay? To make you look like you care about what goes on in the world, okay? The police don't need free shit. The whole point of defund the police is that they get more money than any other public service. Think about it. There are police officers right now that have better equipment than some militaries, but teachers in those same counties, cities, states, they have to come out of pocket for school supplies. Am I correct, Nico? You're an educator.
I'm correct, but if like to play the devil's advocate, okay, just because like the police force has a lot of money doesn't necessarily say that cops are well compensated, and I think that could also lead to a lot of corruption and problems in the force. And I can't speak to this personally in the United States, but like I know people that were special forces in Brazil, like the Bope, and they were also like taxi drivers, and that's like a scary concept to me. Like, how are you an elite killer and also don't have enough money from that job that you have to drive a taxi?
Okay, I could maybe see that, but I've looked up police officer salaries. Base pay is better than most jobs. I know people that have shitty jobs that pay less than police officers, and they make the sacrifice to be able to pay for their jiu-jitsu training.
I definitely feel like they should be able to pay because everybody can pay. Like
Everybody
people at
can
Team
pay.
Lloyd Irving can pay. So my question for you is then like, so if we think jujitsu is good for everybody and could help the police force, like how do you introduce it to them without us just being hostile? Like because yeah, like they need some training, they need to learn. So
how do I introduce it? Well, when they go to the academy, they get good training. So I would say, I don't think it's our job to introduce it to them. I think about it like this. It's like anything else. If you want to train, if it's a part of your job, if you feel as though you don't want to have to do extra work for your job to improve at your job, if you're a head buster, that's your prerogative. But don't look for a handout. It's a fucking handout. And it's a publicity stunt. I just don't like it. I think about it like this too. So you're telling me that if these guys do jujitsu, all of a sudden they're going to be less likely to shoot people, less likely to tase people?
Mm, no, because I think again, I don't know if we talked about it before. It's like not only learning something, but also being able to put it into practice, and having that experience. And a lot of cops don't receive a lot of hours of training, and it's not their fault. It's just like it's the system. When we say it's a systemic problem or a systematic problem, it's because they're they're not there's not enough training hours built into what they do before they're released into the community. Like the same thing that everybody was talking about. Makaya is her name, correct? I
The
don't want
girl
to
who got
pronounce it
shot when
right.
she,
Yeah,
yeah.
and that dumb racist popped onto the live when we were at Randori talking about again like trying to bring up like some kind of murder or something. It's like why would you even bring up that kind of negativity and bring that when we're at an event trying to do a live stream? But a lot of people were talking about the shooting and what happened with that cop, but there's like a lot of underlying problems that like the fact that the person that in the community the people that respond are the cops. Like the person that was shot was a ward of the state at the time. Like so, when you're a ward of the state, like that is kind of that indicates some kind of underlying problem. Like when you're a ward of the state, you're probably fucked up in the head. Like something went wrong, you were taken away from your parents. So yeah, like she was trying to hurt somebody, but like what services were denied or not available to her before she got to that point when she picked up a knife? And I think that's the more important point before we even get to the police shooting that people don't really address. When we say defund the police, it means fund the organizations that were supposed to be there for that girl before the police got there, months, years before the police got there.
The system is so underfunded and so fucked up that, and the police are so, I would argue, overfunded in a lot of ways, that the only recourse for the problem to be solved and the only way that the system really knows to solve it is through violence. If we're being honest here. I mean, police walk around with guns. It's law enforcement. It's not social work. It's not anything that's trying to help the child. They just came there because they found out somebody had a knife, somebody was being attacked, and they meet force with force, if we're being completely honest. And once again, how is jujitsu or giving them free jujitsu going to solve the ills of society? How's it going to make any of us civilians safer? And that's my thing. If you're doing something for the greater good, like a Project Grapple, or you're giving free lessons to somebody, a child in need, in the long term, that's going to help society because they're going to have an extracurricular activity that's going to make them safer physically to be able to defend themselves, and it's going to give them something to do and put them in an environment and meet people that can help them. But just giving somebody free training, like I just don't see it. And I think just the way our jiu-jitsu culture is in this country, it is very pro police, anti, I guess, black and brown people. If you look at a lot of the takes I see online, that I kind of stopped because I've purged my social media accounts of all the bullshit. Thanks for the advice, Nico.
Right?
I think it's very problematic. I have a big issue with that. And then the irony of it all is that you're going to invite these police on here, and then you're going to claim they're sober, and meanwhile there's people locked up in a cage somewhere for even having weed on them or selling weed. And now in other states, other counties, other cities, you got predominantly white people, because they've kind of made it so hard for people of color to even get into the cannabis business, if we're being 100% honest, or these corporations are getting to the business first, and they're making it difficult for people of color to even get into the legal side of things.
Very, very true. Like I would like to see, yeah, that's a good thing that the police can do for the community is like, put out some more information on the laws and the legality and things that would help people avoid committing more crimes, because a lot of people commit crimes that they don't even realize that they are committing, especially when it comes to marijuana now and the laws with possession and how much you can possess at a time. It's very confusing.
Might I play devil's advocate on that point you made? I think it's a beautiful point. In the perfect world, I think they should do that. But the whole by them telling people the laws and educating people, they're being counterproductive to their job because the whole point of having law, it's like government needs government to support the government. Government is always needing to feed itself. So if the police tell you how to not get locked up, the police are making it more difficult for them to get more funding because if things started to become more legal, if natural things like people using drugs, using marijuana, which let's be honest here, people have used drugs from the beginning of time. But if you make it illegal, something natural that people do, it's easier for you to lock people up. So they're not going to be interested in trying to help you not get locked up. That's why they're not going to do it, in my opinion. I could be wrong, Nico.
I mean, it is what it is. It's a headache.
It is a headache. Will you be attending this event?
I have not attended any of the high roller events. This would be an interesting media thing. You know, I am media.
If it's real, I would do a hard training camp just for the opportunity to be on the stoner side. I would totally do it just cause.
Let me go back to the gram. When is this supposed to be?
If it is real, I will come out of retirement just to put on for all the people that are locked up in a cage for smoking that good herb. I will do it for the people. If it is real and they allow me to sign up, I will do a whole ass training camp. Be the best day of my life. You get to beat up a cop legally? Come on, Nico. Think about it.
It's supposed to be September 18th in Las Vegas, Nevada. So
oh boy,
we gotta hit up Garrett about that.
Listen, Garrett, if you're listening, we got training to do. We got training to do for the people. For the people, I'll come out of retirement for that.
They also are gonna have a ladies' night on October 17th.
Where at?
This one is honoring Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Jits Bay will be up in there.
I don't know.
Come on. Don't give me that look.
Gotta show love for the tatas. Yeah, that's right. You better show love for the tatas. So October 17th, make sure you roll up the high rollers. But for real, high rollers is interesting. A lot of respect to them for what they do for the community.
Yes.
Creating some other kind of sports venue, dope promotion, one that pays, whether it's in cash or large sums of marijuana. We need to see more variety. Another thing that we are going to talk about today is the Bjj Goons reality show, the New Star. Dang, how do I not know what it's called? It's called the New Star. So I know you looked some stuff up about it, Tim, but like I looked everything up in Portuguese. So like I just want to ask you, like, what do you know about it coming from an English perspective? Is there anything on their website in English?
There is, and I don't know. Should I read off the rules? I don't know if I should read off the rules. I can give you a synopsis of the rules.
Okay, hold on. Before you get into the rules, then, like, let me explain kind of what it is. So, like, if you don't know, Bjj Star is official. It is another promotion, just like High Rollers, minus the weed, because it's all in Brazil, and they do super fights. So it's all super fights. They've brought people like Muhammad Ali. They've had like 65 fighters. Bringing in athletes from all over the world to compete in Brazil. They do their own pay-per-view. You know, it's very few times that we see pay-per-views that are held off of Flow Grappling. It's very hard for independent promotions to get out there. So it's really important, you know, when things like this happen, like Randori Invitational that will be May 29th, $10 for the stream. Me and Tim on the mic. Make sure you follow us on social media. Go slide over to their page, grab a ticket for $10. Even if you don't want to watch the damn thing, show some love to the damn community. Grab a ticket.
We will be doing commentary too, so you can hear us.
Yeah, so it's important to promote things like this. So Bjj Star is official. They've been doing events, and then they launched a reality TV show. Like in Brazil, Big Brothers is the shit. Brazilians love the Big Brother series. In the U.S., I think we've passed Big Brothers. We've got a ton of reality shows.
The news. The news.
The news.
The news.
But
Yeah.
what they did was they got a house. I think they're in Sao Paulo. I don't know where they were, but they had
It's beautiful wherever they are.
yeah. There's a lot of beautiful places. So they had like 16 fighters and 8 coaches that they brought into a house, and they're doing a reality TV show. They're dropping episodes every Monday and Friday. Um, it's divided between men and women that are in the house. I'll read some of the lineup after Tim goes through the fights and what we've been able to find out about it. But there's a fight every week. Um, the matchups are decided by fan voting on Instagram, which is super interesting. So fans went out and did the matchups, and then coaches. I don't know if you were able to pick up on this, but like there's a challenge that has nothing to do with jiu-jitsu throughout the week. Whoever wins the challenge, the coach gets to decide if the match is going to be gi or no gi.
Yes.
Right before the match.
Minutes before.
Minutes before.
So they can go. I don't know when in the week the challenges are, but they have a way. They know the team that wins the challenge knows way in advance who's gonna play, like who's gonna fight. I mean, what's it gonna be, no gi or gi? And I believe another interesting caveat: coaches are gonna fight each other in an event at the end of the show.
That would be good. I didn't pick up on that one. So, what are the fight rules? The rules, yeah.
Okay, so from Friday to Sunday, I think we just went over this. You vote on the website for which fight you want to see. You choose the athlete of one team to fight against the athlete of another team. The most voted fights appear on the Friday episode. Now, elimination. Once, this is a translation, the walls, I don't know what the walls are, defined. There will be an inter-team event where the winning team will have the right to choose whether gi or no gi. They don't know before ahead of time. So, one day before the eliminatory fights, the nominated athletes must beat the weight of the category. I guess meet. If someone does not meet the specified weight or cannot fight due to injury, they will be automatically disqualified from the competition. The disqualified athlete will remain at home to assist in training and possibly come back for someone that does not comply with the rules as described here. If the situation described above occurs, the coach of the opposite team may choose another opponent to replace him in the fight. That's really interesting. So basically, if you don't make weight or someone gets disqualified, the other team gets to pick who to fight. This is dope.
They like to keep it saucy. They're trying to keep it entertaining. I respect that.
Yeah, if a team runs out of athletes, the coach of the opposite team must choose an athlete from their team to switch teams, moving from ally to opponent. Athletes who won the week's knockout fights will have the benefit of immunity the following week. The benefit will only exist in the first 2 weeks of the show. At the end of the 4 weeks, 2 finalists will be consecrated by gender. Ooh, okay, big words. After defining the finalists, they and the team coaches will face each other at the BJJ Stars event. This document contains confidential information. Any total or partial reproduction, one sharing, or improper use of this content without prior authorization from the author is strictly prohibited. They are really doing the damn thing. Mm-hmm. This is more interesting than the Ultimate Fighter has been in a long time.
And I really wish that it was translated or a way that more people could see it. Like, I've been watching it. The first episode was only like 10 minutes. And then you could see in the comments, everybody was like, what the hell? We need more stuff. And like, they're really responsive. They had to like change the format or the days they were releasing it so that they could edit everything. They go in and they tell a little bit about the athletes, their history. You see them in the house, you know, dancing, like the Brazilian barbecues, which is, if you've ever been to Brazil, this is very typical of the Brazilian lifestyle. Like, that's what you do. You're in the house with your teammates. You eat, you clean your gears, you chill by the pool, and then you train. So it's really cool to be able to see them, a whole lot of high-level athletes. The challenges are really dope. Like, for example, there was one challenge where they were given like a BJJ trivia question, for example. When was Jiu-Jitsu first introduced in Brazil? And I think it was like they had options, and then they had to run up the hill. Like, one person from each team had to like race up a hill, and then like whoever got there first could answer the question, and then you had to get the question right. Like, and that was like the challenge for that week.
That sounds really freaking intense.
Yeah, so I mean, like, you gotta be smart and you gotta be physical.
You gotta know your history.
Gilberto, I was watching it. So Gilberto, we had him with try to figure out which episode from Dream Art in Sao Paulo. Again, super hard to find like these high level Brazilian athletes that speak English.
Yes.
But he does from Dream Art. I don't know anybody else.
Yeah.
So he came on the pod and he won I think it was this week, the last episode, episode 8. He won the challenge and it was hosted by Minotauro Brothers. And I don't even know if they were invited or they just found out about the show and they're like, this is dope, I want to get in on it. So they donated, they have like a energy drink in Brazil. So they donated some of that, they sponsor, and the winner of the challenge, which was Gilberto, got like a motorcycle.
Wow.
Yo, but check this out. He said, yo, I don't even need this. Like, I have everything I need to train. And I'm going to just sell it and give it to 4 families of people I know that have kids that need this money.
Simba. King right there.
Yo, that
King
was
shit.
dope. With his dress, like, he's there with his cord locks. He's looking all fresh up there. Also, Muhammad was on the episode. He was a coach. So he flew his butt down there.
He tried to get me to go, but I was like, bro, I don't speak Portuguese.
Are you serious?
He tried to get me to come, but I was like, am I getting paid? Like, what is the deal here? He tried to get me to go.
You see that candle, that wrestling candle right there that's by my computer, y'all? I'm about to smack Tim upside the head
Nico!
with it. I could have gone and translated for you.
I didn't.
So what you're telling me is Muhammad invited you onto the first reality show. It's actually the second because there was one in Angola, but they're claiming it's the first. But yes, trust the process, Angola. But the second, the biggest reality jiu-jitsu show, Muhammad invited.
No, he didn't invite me. So here's the thing. I'm going to look up the messages.
I'm going to beat you with this candle. Tim. This is on air. I didn't even know about that. Tim, if I was your manager, oh my God, I would die right now of a heart attack.
I can't find the messages.
Muhammad invited you onto that reality TV show and you said no?
Hold on. I got to find the messages. He said I should go. Hold on.
Tim.
I gotta find it. I gotta find where he said that.
I'm about to walk off this set right now, y'all.
Don't get mad at me. Shit.
I can't. I'm about to cry. Tim. When did he invite you?
He told me about it. I think he said I should go. So yeah, he was like, man, I'm going to this. You should go. I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. There's other stuff I got going on, and I just like, Nico, I think it was like around when did he go?
I don't even know because it's done filming now. They're all back home. Like, we gotta hit one of.
My bad. It was something where he was just getting ready to go. But yeah, he told me about it before. He said I should go, be good publicity. But I was like, Nico, don't be mad at me, okay? Don't be mad at me. Shit. Plus, we had to record shit here and everything.
Well, we could have been recording this shit in Brazil. Muhammad has a better camera than me. Oh man. Anyway.
Oh my God.
So,
I can't recover from that.
You shouldn't be able to.
I can't recover from that.
No,
it had been a good reason.
That should hurt like a torn ACL, Tim. But anyway, the other coaches that were there with Muhammad were Patrick Claudio, Blanca Basilia, Monique Elias. Could have been Tim Spriggs. And me. I would have been up in there.
Plus, at the time, you didn't even want to go nowhere. So I was like, okay.
But I have work. Like, Brazil is the one spot. Like, we could have been up in the Black Belt movie too.
He told me about it. I gotta look at the messages and see if he told me that I should come or not. But we definitely had a conversation about it. He just
had to tell you about it. He was like, "Oh, bet pop up." What did you say? Oh my. Okay, so
because here's the thing, Nico. If they gonna pay for me to go, I'ma go. But I'm gonna have to pay all that money for a flight to go there.
You don't understand publicity. Opportunity.
You know, you're ashamed me for the rest of the show. I'm just gonna clam up. I'm just gonna say, I'm just gonna be quiet.
It's okay.
I'm just gonna be quiet.
I'm just gonna look for the outline because I lost it on my phone. So yeah. Anyway, that's how dope the show is because I can't believe he didn't go. That's quality. But that's life, actually. Opportunities, foregone opportunities. What else we got to talk about?
Who's number one?
One. Oh, I actually got to watch this.
What did you think about it, Nico?
There were some great matches. There was let's see what matches I got to watch. Grace the women.
You saw Grace Gundrum?
I watched. I didn't watch the whole event. I watched like 4, 5, 6, maybe the main event. You know, I went through the.
So you watched Dorino versus Lovato?
Definitely, definitely. Dorino was pretty dominant. You know,
Man.
love to see him on the back.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's all I got. You know,
I'm gonna say this right now, and I've been saying this for a long time. Dorino is still one of the best grapplers on the planet. And if he decided to stop doing MMA, he could come back and he could win ADCC and he could win Gi Worlds. Now, Lovato's a big dude. Dorino's strong as shit too, but you know, Lovato was doing pretty good. He was going for X guard. He was trying to get underneath Dorino. You know, trying to get under, take his balance away. But man, with 3 minutes 30 seconds left, Dorino did one of the most beautiful Nogi X passes and transitioned to the back incredibly, like he hasn't done MMA predominantly for the last pretty much decade.
yo, like he isn't a huge tank. He was just so quick, so smooth with it too.
Yeah, I mean, just being in phenomenal shape, being able to grapple for 20 minutes straight, and make that transition late in the match to the back. And Lovato, he's an MMA fighter too. He won the Bellator title. He's no slouch either. But to do that to Lovato, not a lot of people just get on Lovato's back like that. And, you know, just him being able to counter, I was truly impressed. I think Dorino is still top 10 in his weight class in grappling. I mean, no doubt about it. Nogi, he could beat anybody in Nogi right now. What, give him 6 months to prepare for ADCC? No doubt in my mind he could win it. He'd be my favorite. I think he could beat Craig Jones. I think he could beat Mateus, Denise. You know, I don't see too many people taking him down. I mean, if you recall, I think he had a match with DJ. I think it was Gi recently, and he beat DJ in a match in Jiu-Jitsu. And DJ is 2-time Black Belt World Champion in Jiu-Jitsu. He's no slouch. So I'm truly impressed by what Dorino did. I'm also extremely impressed by Tyro Tolo. And Will Tackett is no slouch either. I thought Will Tackett was winning the match in the beginning.
Yo, that match was just so quick, so much energy, so explosive. Just if I don't know, if I was a man like that, would make me want to go to Masters. Like, how do you? They're so young. Those boys are so young. They're so technical. They're so strong. Like, how do you deal with that? They're just gonna keep getting better.
Ty and Cade are the future. Everyone needs to watch out. These guys aren't even old enough to drink legally in the United States yet, but they have years and years of experience. I've watched these guys compete since they were mighty mites, like little ass kids, and they've stuck with jiu-jitsu. Will Tackett did a phenomenal job. I really like his jiu-jitsu. His ability to get into leg lock positions was phenomenal. He was able. Will Tackett did everything technically correct.
Yeah, they went back and forth.
Fantastic body lock takedown. You know, but Ty was able to do shit that you can only do, one, if you're a phenomenal athlete, 2, if you've been doing jiu-jitsu forever, and 3, if you just have that I will not lose mentality. Like, he was doing magic. What were you gonna say, Nico?
I just can't like imagine. Like, I have so much fear of like rolling out of ankle locks and hurting myself, but I guess it's just a level. Like, you know what you're doing, like you know how to counter it, but they were just so aggressive and so fast with it. Like, I don't.
His ability to disentangle the leg locks, you know, and be able to transition to a back take position is the best that I've seen since Felipe Pena. He's the best at it. Tyro Tolo is the best at it right now. And he just this is a beast, man. I can't get over it. He has a combination of speed and technique and strength, and he's already about 185 pounds, and he's still lean.
Yeah, you need to do some like specific breakdowns on the Patreon of like
Oh
I know you
yeah,
want to talk about takedowns, so like maybe like starting with that. It's just like of different matches and styles. Like I know you want to do takedowns, ties a little bit different, but like just when we're talking about leg lock defense and like his ability to get out of it. And one thing that I always think about is like order of operations. Like when I'm in a situation, I don't know what I need to address first, especially if it's like an unknown situation to me. Like it'd be interesting. So make sure to slide through the Patreon because you know we got fan questions. I got questions for Tim, and we're about to after we kick out some episodes today, do a lot of techniques. And I definitely want to see some more of his match breakdowns that he's always talking about doing. I don't get to see it enough of them.
Yes. Speaking of which, if you guys are interested in me giving you I'm sorry, giving you a breakdown of your techniques. So what I like to do is do a flow chart. I made one for Nico. Made Nico her own game plan. So what I did was I looked at all the techniques that she did, all the positions that she was great at, and I made a flow chart starting from the beginning of the match, which is standing. Every match starts on the feet, to her best submissions in a flow chart. So now, when Nico was trying to figure out what she's going to do for a tournament, she can look at the flow chart that I made her and drill the techniques that give her the highest percentage of success. I believe in the 80-20 rule. You get 80% of your success from 20% of the things that you do. So if you are interested in one of my personalized game plan flowcharts, you can hit me up on Instagram at TimSpriggsBJJ or email me at bookspriggsbjj@gmail.com. And as far as the rest of the matches on Who's Number One, like I thought the Nikki Ryan match with him and PJ Barch was excellent. I think it was a stalemate for the most part, but Nikki was attacking more and was able to chain his attacks a little bit better, but nothing really happened in that match. And whew, Cade Ruotolo. I don't think Cade gets enough respect either because Cade finished Ethan Krellistein with a beautiful Bravo choke. And in a breakdown I'm going to do later on this month, I can go over that exact transition, but I'll say this. Cade timed that submission perfectly. He was too far away from Ethan to get swept, and Ethan still insisted on coming up and turning kind of to all fours. And because Cade has such impeccable timing, excellent technique, and he just physically, those long ass arms, bravo. Match over. The transition was excellent. Like, telling you, Ruotolo twins are gonna be they are a problem, but they're gonna be a huge problem. And I said this last week with DJ, like Craig, all these other guys, they better get their licks in now because when you get into a groove and when you're that age and you have all that experience and you have great coaches and a great room that they're coming to. I mean, they train with the Mendez, but well, originally they were on the kids team for Checkmat, which was phenomenal. And then the Mendez brothers kind of took a lot of those kids, and then they trained with the Mendez brothers. Now they're training with Andre Galval. Even though he got bitch slapped, he is still one of the best grapplers and coaches in the game. So yeah, it's about to be the Ruotolo era, and they're great at gi too. No problem.
Well rounded, well rounded.
Very much so. Very well rounded. Well, Nico, do you have anything else to add this episode?
About Who's Number One? Or are you talking about the episode in general?
The episode in general, because I sometimes I get excited and get in my rants.
All right, folks, we're done with Who's Number One. I definitely didn't have anything to add there. And no, are we done with the episode?
I guess we are. Well, folks, thanks for listening and watching another episode of the Bjj Goons podcast. Nico, where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram at no new Nico. That's no_new_Nico. And make sure to check out FavellaJujitsu.com if you're trying to get in my brother's Keeper hoodie, just not in purple, they're in black, or Mushmaster. We coming out with some new Bjj Goons apparel by May 29th, which will be the Randori invitation.
Also, if you want to support us and all of our endeavors and you want to see some exclusive content, you want to see my match breakdowns, you want to see my techniques, I will say this. As far as these instructionals go, I'm a pretty damn good instructor. I mean, I think I'm pretty damn good. And most of the time, no, all the time, knock on wood, I do this shit in one take. So if you guys want to see that exclusive BJJ Goons content, you want to see that bonus episode with DJ where we go in, go to patreon.com/BJJ Goons. You can catch me, the Mushmaster, at Tim Spriggs BJJ on Instagram and Facebook. I do not have an OnlyFans. Ladies, please stop DMing me asking about that. I don't. But if you want to see me, you got to pay for it. Go to patreon.com/BJJ Goons. This has been the BJJ Goons podcast. Peace.